Curious, slightly mysterious at this 18th century nautical chart, the world looks less like a landscape and more like a mathematical puzzle. It is a dense thicket of overlapping lines and numerical depth soundings that offer very little visual recognition to the untrained eye. This abstraction is necessary because of a simple physical constraint. Maps cannot represent reality at a one-to-one scale. If a cartographer tried to draw every individual tree, building, or boulder onto a single sheet of paper, the sheer amount of detail would make the page an unreadable tangle of ink. To remain useful, a map must simplify the world into a system of standardized rules. Because these rules are used to communicate information about space and distance, they function much like a language, one that we have to learn to read. Most maps rely on 5 specific features to communicate this information. You can memorize them using the phrase, "Directions show colorful scaled legends." Without understanding this system, a traveler is essentially guessing. But once these 5 features are understood, a person can interpret the geography of almost any environment on the planet. Every navigation starts with a single question: which way are you facing? In an open field or an unfamiliar city, simply pointing in a direction is rarely accurate enough to reach a specific destination. This is why maps use the compass rose to establish the 4 cardinal points: north, south, east, and west. A common trick for remembering the order of these points clockwise from the top is the phrase, "Never eat soggy waffles." Of course, the world doesn't always move in straight lines. If your destination is situated halfway between north and east, the 4 main cardinal points aren't quite precise enough. To solve this, we use intermediate directions: northeast, northwest, southeast, and southwest. These function like the minutes on a clock, allowing us to plot more accurate angles between the primary points. By establishing these directions, a map provides a fixed frame of reference that connects the drawing to the physical reality of the Earth. Once you know your direction, you need to identify the terrain ahead. This historical map of India illustrates how cartographers layer information using standardized colors. We see the map transitioning from blue, used for water bodies, into green for plains. Inland, it uses dark brown for mountains and yellow for plateaus. While colors describe the broad landscape, we still need symbols for specific landmarks. These are called conventional symbols, icons that represent real-world objects without cluttering the map with realistic drawings. Through this system, a massive geological feature is condensed into a simple triangle, and a complex network of transportation is reduced to a single line representing a railway or a road. By using these colors and symbols, maps remove the visual noise of the world, leaving behind only the data a traveler needs to navigate. But even with these conventions, a traveler will eventually encounter a symbol they don't recognize, perhaps a specific red mark or a star they haven't seen before. This is where we use the legend or map key. It acts as the map's dictionary. It provides a simple table that connects the symbol on the left with its definition on the right, explaining, for example, that the star represents a capital city. The legend ensures that the map's data is accessible to everyone, acting as the final translator for the symbols on the page. There is one final piece of information required for a successful trip: distance. Identifying where a destination is located doesn't tell you how long it will take to actually get there. To solve this, maps use scale, which real-world distance is represented by a small measurement on the paper. We find the actual distance by scaling up. If a map uses a scale where 1 centimeter equals 100 kilometers, a 5-centimeter line measured with a ruler is multiplied by the scale to reveal a real-world distance of 500 kilometers. Scale allows us to use a small piece of paper to plan a journey across thousands of miles of actual terrain. Navigating successfully requires the coordination of all these features, following the correct direction, identifying the terrain through its colors, and using the scale to calculate the time and distance required to reach the goal. While we often focus on the destination, the real utility of a map lies in the system of rules that allows us to find it. By internalizing these 5 features, directions, symbols, colors, scale, and the legend, you can pick up a map of an unfamiliar country and understand the landscape with the same clarity as your own backyard. To see this in action, Try finding a map of your hometown. Look for the legend and the scale, and see how much real-world distance you cover on your daily commute.